What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at the top 5 worst metas in Smite history. Obviously this video is somewhat opinionated, it's mostly my opinion, but it's also sort of what I've seen from a lot of people that always kind of pop up on various sites and things like that of metas that people really hated. But obviously there'll be some of you that are watching that liked some of these metas, but these are just generally like popular opinion and my opinion kind of mixed together, so let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5, we've got the power potion meta in mid-season 3. Going into the middle of season 3, the 500 gold power potions had a massive spike in popularity. Back then they weren't level gated like they are now, so people could buy them at level 1 along with a starter item, and they just rolled over everyone who didn't have a power potion at level 1. This essentially led to a ton of early snowballing, and the game was often decided in like the first 5 minutes. Like the lead you could get off a level 1 power potion was just completely absurd. And so a lot of early game gods got picked for mid and jungle to kind of snowball control in the middle of the map, like Isis, Zeus and Poseidon kind of gods paired with high pressure junglers like Thor and Bastet. They would just both buy power potions at level 1, and whoever won the early game in mid just basically snowballed the side lane so hard it was impossible to come back from. This meta was ended with a heavy hand of high res level gating the power potions to level 10 and also nerfing a few of the major early game offender gods from mid and jungle. Coming at number 4, we've got the heavy tank meta in early season 2. Season 2 was a very tank heavy season throughout, but the earlier parts of the season were especially bad, with triple tank comps being the norm, and a lot of solo laners being able to like 1v5 because they were so far ahead that it was impossible to shut them down. A big part of why this meta was so popular was the release of Bellona in February. Like, she's still renowned today as one of the most broken god releases of all time with her insane sustain, damage and tankiness, but items like Runeforged Hammer and Heavy Hammer, the tier 2 Frostbound Hammer that slowed back then, allowed warriors to just build extremely tanky while dishing out some major damage. Level 1 invades with Heavy Hammer were extremely popular on gods like Osiris and Bellona, which dominated the meta, along with warriors that could abuse the new Bluestone pendant that was just released back then. Overall, it was just tanks rolling over everyone. Mages and assassins, even hunters struggled to take them down quite a lot. So if you weren't playing tank in this meta, you usually weren't having a good time. Up at number 3, we've got the Golden Bow Hunter meta in early season 3. So at the start of season 3, Hi-Rez made a fatal mistake buffing Golden Bow. For those of you that don't know, Golden Bow was a crit item that made your basics hitting an AoE around the target, making it insane for wave clear. This buff was done to help low clear hunters like Artemis compete in the early levels. The already dominant hunters started abusing this item for its passive and got insanely fed off being able to clear really well early on. It was incredibly hard to contest a hunter with Golden Bow, as their clear was just through the roof without even needing to use any mana or any cooldowns. This led to hunters being several levels ahead of everyone else on the map and would be full slotted when everyone else had like 4 or 5 items. Throwing Dagger, the tier 2 of Golden Bow, was the main problem because it could be bought at level 1 with some potions and you just rolled over anyone who didn't have it too, because it still had the Golden Bow effect, just lesser. So basically, fed hunters aren't fun to deal with, and the Golden Bow meta hunters were just fed every single game, so that's why I've got it on number 3 on my list. And number 2, we've got the Heartseeker Hunter meta at the back end of mid-season 2. What surprise, another meta where hunters were dominant has made it to number 2 on the list. This meta was somewhat similar to the Golden Bow meta. Heartseeker essentially gave hunters a way too potent early game tool and allowed them to just snowball pretty ridiculously and just murder everyone else in the game. Heartseeker cost 1950 gold and gave 75 power when fully stacked. Also gave some movement speed, but that wasn't the main part of it. This gave hunters just an insane early game power spike and caused a lot of similar problems as the Golden Bow meta, with like hunters just snowballing the early game and being unstoppable because of how far ahead they were. Basically, hunters being fed sucks ass, so that's why it's a second hunter meta on my list. And finally, the worst Smite meta we've ever been through in my opinion is the Dirty Bubble meta in late season 2. This meta is named after a player called, you guessed it, the Dirty Bubble. This meta essentially involved building heavy tank builds on characters that normally wouldn't build very tanky. So you'd end up with things like full tank Apwash that would never die because of the healing from his passive, and hunters with like just kin size, a penetration item, and then 4 tank items being extremely hard to kill. The games went really long because no one ever died in team fights, and taking structures was a lot harder with people not building as much damage. This meta really highlighted the absurd strength of defense items in season 2, and it was the main reason for several severe nerfs to many tank items at the start of season 3, which kind of led to things like the hunter metas that were quite popular in season 3. But yeah, everyone being impossible to kill and the really slow games just wasn't fun for most people, so that's why it's on my list. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if there was a meta you hated more than any of these. I'll be interested to know about that, because these were just 5 of my personal most hated metas. But anyway, that's about it. See you guys in the next video. Peace out, nerds.